Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and in today's video, we are not forgetting and forgiving, but we are moving on. The forgiving and the forgetting will take place once we've beaten Boston, because let's face it, guys, it's gonna happen again. Last night, I found myself in the friendly confines of the Rogers Center, enjoying some Blue Jays baseball, by the way, and I was watching the game, minding my own business, when one of my friends turned to me and was like, "Whoa, Steve, Mitch Marner signed." And just as he was about to tell me the details of the contract, I said, "Nope. That's a tomorrow problem." So after hearing that news, I walked over to section 536, bought a couple of $5 beers, and enjoyed the game. It was great. But of course, it's baseball, and I can only contain myself so much, so I had to look. $10.893 million for 6 years. Let's talk about this. So you might remember one of the very first videos that I posted on this channel after coming back from the hiatus was about Mitch Marner. It was a 16-minute video where I did basically an entire in-depth dive on the entire situation from top to bottom, comparing him to Austin Matthews, comparing him to other notable RFAs, looking at contract structures, and just trying to make sense of things. But up on the screen right now is the one thing that I could not make sense about. Because if you're looking at this next season, the Maple Leafs own the top two highest paid players in the entire league by salary in Austin Matthews and John Tavares. Now, CapFriendly doesn't quite have these details just yet, but here's a tweet from Puckpedia breaking down the year-by-year structure. In year one of the contract, Mitch Marner is set to earn $16 million. And if you were paying attention in the previous clip, you would know that would make him the highest paid player in the entire league this upcoming season. $15.3 million of that money goes direct deposit right into his account the second he signs the contract. And of course, there's escrow and agent fees and taxes and other things to consider. But if you have yourself a good accountant, you could probably get around a lot of it. Between the end of this summer and next, Mitch Marner will walk away with just over $30 million. And if we head on over to CapFriendly and look at the way that Anze Kopitar's contract is structured, it's for $11 million a season, more money overall and more years. But if we take a look at the first two seasons with the way that the signing bonuses and the base salary break down, we can see that Anze Kopitar makes $23 million in the same time frame that Mitch Marner will make $30. Which contract would you rather have? Up on the screen now is Jack Eichel's 8-year, $10 million a season contract with no signing bonuses in the first 2 years. Which contract would you rather have? Up on the screen again is Patrick Kane's contract with his breakdown year by year. Which contract would you rather have? Mark Stone's contract that he signed just 6 months ago. Which one would you rather have? Some of you might say that you take the contracts with the most guaranteed money as possible, but others might say that they'd want as much money up front as possible, and that's what Mitch Marner got. There is no contract in the NHL, aside from John Tavares' and Austin Matthews, maybe Carey Price's, or Connor McDavid's, if you really want to go that far, that have that breakdown in year one and year two with that much money front loaded. There are very few NHL teams in the league that can afford to pay Mitch Marner a contract similar to the one that the Leafs gave him. So in my mind, it would have worked to the Leafs' benefit, right? They should have been given some kind of measurable discount for this. I don't know, maybe they did receive a discount for front loading the contract so much, because he's set to receive 46% of the $63 or so million in the first 12 months of this contract. We'll never really find out how these negotiations went down and what was said and who said what. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, we're not forgiving and we're not forgetting just yet, but we are moving on. Last week or so, I did a video on this channel asking if you trusted Kyle Dubas. And the overall response was yes, that most people do trust him. But with these RFA negotiations with Matthews, Nylander, and Marner, he didn't do particularly well with them. Let's just be straight up. But I mean, there are other facets to being an NHL general manager, and Kyle Dubas is relatively new to this. So hopefully now that he has some experience negotiating with NHL superstars under his belt, this is something that he'll take with him into the future and he'll improve on. Now, I'm going to explain to you why I'm not too worried about the cap hit on Mitch Marner's contract, because at the end of the day, he is a fantastic player, and I'd rather overpay the superstars on my team than overpay for middling players that don't really push the needle. This was a popular one last night on Leafs Twitter, and let's explain why this is just a load of crap and I'm not worried about it at all. There's not a lot of dead weight here. The Maple Leafs have a lot of really good players that they're paying a lot of money to, and I don't really see a problem with that. Aside from Cody Cece's 1-year contract and the 3 years left on the salary retained in the Phil Kessel trade, there's not a lot of bloat here. This is the Edmonton Oilers' cap-friendly page, and I mean $5.75 million to James Neal for the next 4 years, $4.5 million to Mikko Koskinen for the next 3 seasons, $750K to Milan Lucic retained for the next 4 years, a couple of buyouts on the roster, and right away, you're seeing how all that dead weight really negates having Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid to relatively team-friendly contracts. It's like I said earlier, there's other facets to being an NHL general manager. There's the draft, there's player development, and there's signing players to good, cheap bargain contracts. And over the past couple of years, we've seen the Maple Leafs snag up Timothy Liljegren, Rasmus Sandin, Nick Robertson, who are going to be really good players for them. We've seen them sign guys like Tyler Ennis, Jason Spezza, Kenny Agostino, Nick Shore. The list goes on and on. That's how you make up the difference with overpaying your superstars. So did they get hosed on the Mitch Marner negotiations? Yeah, a little bit. But at the end of the day, I still trust Kyle Dubas. And the Maple Leafs are entering this really unique window where they have Anderson, Riley, Tavares, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, all signs for the next 2 seasons in the prime of their careers. Let's go get a cup. So make sure to like the video and subscribe for more, because more is always on the way. And guys, take care.